Hello everyone, Equipment War here, and welcome to my final version of my Icebolt/Vortex build. This is an incredibly powerful character, cheap to make, very fun to play, and will just one hit everything, can do the highest level maps in the game, can do at Siri, and it's overall really fun to play. So I'm gonna go over my passive skill tree, the gear and the games I'm using. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments. So let's take a fast look at my passive skill tree. I start by taking life and mana regeneration in the beginning. I also took this one elemental damage node here. I took Serenity, I took Rightness Decree, Discipline and Training, Retribution, and I also have Amplify and these nice area of effect nodes. I have Elementalist, then I have this Yule here, which gave me as high spell damage and cold damage as possible. I also have cast speed on, so if you can, try to get a Yule like this. I also have Devotion, and a really nice life note. I have Light of Divinity. And I went up here. I took this pretty later in the game. I was about level 80 when I took Stormweaver. I have Purity Flesh, all of these nice life notes here. I have Serenity, so I get less the mana reserve. And that means I can use more auras and mana reserving effects. I have Arcane Potency to increase my crit chance. I have another Yule here, same thing, try to get as high spell damage and cold damage as possible. This one even have some mana regeneration. I have Deep Thoughts, Cruel Perception. I have another Yule here, which are Anatomical Knowledge, which you don't have to have this one, but it's a really nice boost to your life. Because it gives you more life depending on how much intelligence are in the radius. And that's a lot of intelligence in this radius. I have Annihilation, Frostwalker, Cultist Dominion. I have Blast Radius to further increases my area effect and area damage. Deep Wisdom and Heart and Soul. I also went up here to take Heart of Ice. You don't need to take Breath of Dream. I feel that it is a little bit unnecessary to this build. And I also have Dark Arts, because I dual wielding 2 daggers. I'm gonna go over that in a bit. I took Dark Art because they give you a ton of cast speed, and that's a really nice thing. So let's go down here. I also went down here to take Combat Stamina. Another Yule here, again, try to get as high spell damage as possible and cold damage. And this one have a lot of spell damage, cold damage, and even spell damage when dual wielding. I also went for this Yule here, again, try to get as high cold damage, spell damage, and cast speed as possible. And then I took this whole big life wheel here. I have just one node left to take. And that's pretty much my skill tree. If you have any questions about my skill tree, feel free to ask me in the comments. For my Ascendancy class, I'm ascended to an Inquisitor, and I took Invincible Judgment, which means that when I'm critting an enemy, I just ignore the resistance. And I took Agony of Opportune, and I took Instrument of Virtue. And for the bandits, in normal I helped Orc to get a 40% increased life. In Cruel I helped Alira to get the cast speed, and in Merciless I just killed every one of them. So let's take a look at what weapons and items you need for this build. I'm going to have a link in the description where you can find all of my items, my skill gems, and the passive skill tree. For weapons, I dual wielding 2 daggers, but you can dual wield 2 wands as well. You want as high chance to crit as possible for spell. You want as high critical strike multiplier and as high spell damage as possible. And if you can, try to get some cast speed on them as well. For your helmet, try to get as high life and the resistance you might need. It also helps if you can get some really good armor on it, and have a little bit of energy shield on it. Doesn't hurt, because it's much easier to roll blue sockets on an energy shield / armor helmet and a pure armor helmet. But you can use a pure armor helmet, but you need to waste a lot of chromatics for it. For your boots, try to get life, resistance, armor, and as high movement speed as possible. For your gloves, I'm using Malagor's Virtuity, which increases your crit chance and critical strike multiplier. If you don't have these gloves, you can use a pair of rare gloves, which give you life and resistance, as high armor as possible, and try to get a little bit of energy shield on them, just to make it easier to roll your blue sockets. For your chest armor, try to get a 6-linked or a 5-linked armor, and try to get some energy shield / armor on it. Just make it easier to roll your blue sockets, and then try to get some life and resistance on. For your belt, try to get the belt which have as high life as possible and the resistance you might need. You can also use a unique belt called Doriani's Inventation, the cold version. And finally, your rings and amulets. On your rings, try to get as high life as possible and the resistance you might need, and if you can, try to get some cold damage on them as well. And for your amulet, try to get as high life as possible and the resistance you might need. And if you can afford it, try to get some spell damage, critical strike multiplier and critical strike chance. And now to the skills I'm using. Vortex are supported by faster casting, increased critical strike damage, increased critical strikes, spell echo and life leech. And Frostbolt are supported by faster casting, spell echo and lesser multiple projectiles. The auras and mana reserves I'm using. I'm using Assassin's Mark linked to Blasphemy to make it to an aura around me, which will curse any enemy that come close to me. I'm also using Herald of Ice, and I'm using Arctic Armor. The movement skill I'm using Volume Blade linked to faster attacks. If you're using wands instead of daggers, you can use a Lightning Warp instead. I'm also using a Storm Golem linked to Minion Life and to Minion Speed. And that's pretty much everything for this build. If you have any questions about the build or if I missed something, feel free to ask me in the comments. I will be happy to answer you. And I hope you guys liked this video, and thank you all for watching, and see you guys next time.